On a first glimpse, it looks like both companies work in the mechanical field, but that's almost all the similarities. There is a customer group which is similar, because if people like fine cars, they usually also like fine watches. But car industry is all about industrialization. You know, they actually love products that are not touched by any human mankind. That's the best way of producing a car, where specifically we put a lot of effort into craftsmanship. So, you know, from a manufacturing or production point of view, very little similarities. Customer group, fine, that I think is a match. And both are German brands that work globally. And to some extent, we're Germans. We're the only German watch brand that actually plays top league. We do have a very clear design language, so you will immediately identify a Lange Sohne watch. We put a lot of effort into our movements. They're all made in-house, you know, to the latest details, to the tiniest little details, even the things you will never see. You always get what you see if you have a look to the dial or to the movement. Quality and a perfection that you probably find nowhere else in the industry. It helps us a lot, actually, because, you know, people, our customers, refer to the purchase of one of our watches as an investment. And of course, an investment, even our good collectors never sell watches. They like to see that they improving the value. And of course, the best way of expressing the success of that story is if your watches are on auction and they go for a good price. So, you know, in a way, it's just helping us to, and the customers, to justify their spendings in the first time. But remember, in the 90s, and that's different to today, everybody was very much relying on some big movement producer. And here comes a tiny little player from Germany bringing 4 brand new movements out, in-house produced, in-house developed. I think from the word go, that was a surprise for everybody that was into fine watchmaking. And ever since then, I think we still, you know, have that competitive edge, helping us bringing out complications in a different way. Like the striking time, the Zeitwerk striking time with sort of a little sonnerie, the Zeitwerk itself, you know, the instantaneously jumping minutes and hours. So we're always good for a surprise, and that, I think, is helping us to regain the territory that we may have lost over 50 years because we were non-existent in those days. Look, a lot of things would be absolutely the same as it is today. Richemont is giving us and allowing us a lot of freedom. Actually, they insist in you running your business independently from the rest. But it helps us hugely in, you know, exploring the world. If you're a tiny little company and you have to rent your office spaces in Hong Kong, in New York, in Singapore, in Italy, and God knows where, it is much easier for us because we have an infrastructure that is provided by Richemont. We jump onto the infrastructure, but as you can see here, we have our own people working for us. So I believe it's the best out of both worlds. We are independent, and they leave us the freedom to stay independent, but we can very nicely capitalize on the infrastructure that's been provided by Richemont. As I started in the car industry, I thought I will, you know, spend my money for watches and, you know, make my living out of cars. Today I spend money for cars and make my living out of watches. If and, you know, again, it's very difficult to say that, but if I had to change, I probably would go into maybe men's fashion, you know, some Italian tailoring, love to detail. I will not mention any brand names, but, you know, the ones that don't produce millions of nice things, but just a few, but they do it really with a lot of passion, you know, embraced in a rich culture of tailoring. That could be a field that I also think is quite interesting. But it's not mechanical, so that's the downside.